Chapter 3, A Sharp Right Turn on the National Road, Part 5. So Stephen Kilburn goes under hypnosis, and this time is Dr. Clamar doing the hypnotic regression. And Stephen says that he's on his car and he's driving and he's going very fast and he's very tired and he's really sleepy. And she asks if there's a clock on the dashboard, and he says, yeah, but it's not working. But I have a watch on. And he goes off the road onto the shoulder, and that kind of like wakes him up. And he also remembers like reaching down on the floor of the car because he might have dropped something, or he was adjusting the seat, but he's not sure. And he also says that it's very dark and there are almost no cars on the road and he's all alone. And then he kind of like begins to like freak out a little bit. And he says, oh no, what's happening? I don't want this to happen. And he doesn't see anything at all. And the right part of the car turns violently. And he was going pretty fast. But he says that it felt like there was a huge magnet that was pulling the car to the right. And he kind of was freaking out. He was saying that he wanted to stay away from the car, that it made him feel better, that when he was inside the car, it was really scaring him. And the car was pulling over, and he felt that somebody was looking over his shoulder, but he looked at the back seat and he didn't see anything. And then he was confused and asked, why did he pull over? So he gets out of the car and he was looking at the fence and a car that is passing on the road. And his car was off the road, but he was on top of a concrete. And he was just trying to give details of his surrounding. And then he paused, and then he asked Dr. Clamar to break off the hypnosis because he didn't want to go any further because he was too afraid to look any further of the things that happened to him. But then she managed to calm him down. And then he gets back to the hypnosis and he was looking at the fence and he heard a noise against it, like the fence rattling. And he was just saying that he was there all alone in front of the car, looking across the dish over to the fence. And then he begins to tremble slightly and he becomes really afraid. And then he was like, I know why I pulled over. And his breathing became very agitated. And then he says that he sees two lights in the sky when he was driving. And the lights were moving fast, but not too fast, and they don't make any noise. And the two lights were diagonal to each other, one to the right and the lower to the left. And they were white, around like a whitish color, with kind of a haze around them. And then he looks back at the fence, and he doesn't want to look over at the fence because he's really scared as to what be over there. And then all of a sudden, he remembers driving back home. And then he says that he doesn't want to remember that he's not supposed to remember. And then Dr. Clamar asks, who said that you're not supposed to remember? And then he says, I just know I'm not. I might die if I remember. At this point, there's a break because they need to turn over the tape to start recording again. And then Steven becomes less afraid.